am of the opinion that you shouldn't show your woman or your wife vulnerability. I know.
I disagree. Okay, go ahead. Hold on.
Part 2 will be coming real soon. Part 2, stand by.
If I call you bro, it means I love you, bro. That means I'll go to war with you.
Fire, baby.
The reason why you need to know your identity is because when you know who you are, people don't get to define it for you. When I tell you guys who you have in your circle is important.
You're listening to the Bros to Men podcast with Cameron Prasad, Deputy Osborne, and Roy Red.
Bro, it's cool, bro.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bros to Men podcast.
Sir.
Hey, listen, y'all know it's your boy J.O.
Cameron Prasad, good to see y'all again, man. It's been a minute.
Roy Red. It's been a second, but we back with it.
Now listen, I'm excited about this topic that we have today. And so for those of you who are tuning in, this is going to be an opportunity for us to get real raw as we always do, and just bring some issues that's been on our head. So we always get an opportunity to be able to say, okay, look, what are we going to talk about in this episode? What are we going to talk about that's really going to not just be noise, but really be able to make impact? We're going to keep it real, laugh, and man, one of these episodes we gonna draw some tears, man. But listen. Look, all right. So, Dips, you end up bringing up a topic that I didn't even know anything about. There was only a piece of it that I knew, but you brought up this topic that I only thought about in The Matrix. If y'all seen The Matrix, you know when Neo's asked by Lawrence Fishburne, you want which pill do you want to take, the red pill or the blue pill, right? Okay, so bring in this topic that we're gonna talk about today and how it relates to life. Because as I started researching a little bit of it, bro, it started getting crazy. So I think it's gonna be an interesting topic, bro. So bring it in, man. What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's wild. You got guys like Andrew Tate. You got the dudes over at Fresh and Fit podcast, and those are red pill aware men. And basically, they just say, understand female nature, understand the nature of the world and how you have to be as a man. And then you have blue pill men, and this is not to be confused with Republican or Democrat.
Get that disclaimer.
And what they're just saying is blue pill men aren't necessarily beta, but they think in a way that to get females to accept them, to get the world to accept them, they're not willing to stand on their masculine essence and just be truthful about the world, statistics and all of that stuff.
Okay.
But then you got black pill.
Yeah.
And black pill is like, we don't care. We don't want no girls. We don't want to get married. Life has no meaning. It's almost like an atheist look at life. And so, I got a couple friends that are atheists. They cool, but black pill just basically means we ain't playing y'all game. We ain't in the matrix. We ain't out the matrix. We're not taking the blue pill or the red pill. We just don't talk to us, and we just going to sit here and be depressed the rest of our lives.
So I've read that in the blue pill, red pill, they're now asking, like, who are you? Are you a red pillar? Are you a blue pillar? Are you black pillar? Like, right? So they're asking this, and it's almost like horoscopes. Like, they're running it like, what type of person are you? Yeah. And so they say that a lot of the people who are blue pillars have been nurtured, right? They're the guys who are the nice guys who always finish last. They're the ones who we would call simps, right? You're looking at a lot of them, right? And then you have these red people, like you mentioned, Andrew Tate. My man's taking heat. Women can't stand this dude because of how he's coming across. It's that masculine drive and how that is. And so they're trying to figure out in dating, who are you? Now you introduce this black pill that's been like recent in that. But let me ask you this. Is it just one pill? Can you be a purple pill like red and blue? You know what I'm saying? Mixed together.
Blend it all, right?
Because you got to think about this. When we're talking relationships, you're talking life. You got the red, you got the blue, and now the introduction to black pill. I kind of want to dive in on the I don't know about y'all, but on the black pill, and we can kind of talk about the other one because this black pill, it's something that's kind of serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, it's like playing basketball and you can't guard the other person and you just like, I'm gonna just sit out and quit. So now it's 4-5, right? It's not 5-on-5. And so I think it's blue pill to quit. I think it's blue pill to take the black pill and not play at all, because that's just like a quitter's mindset. And I feel like that's something that, I'm not saying blue pill people are beta, but I think that's beta to just quit and not play the game at all.
So me personally, I think what's interesting about the three pills, right? The three colors. is that I think so much energy and time gets spent in trying to categorize as one, right? Like, well, I'm blue, or I'm red, or I'm black. I don't care about anything, you know? But I think, it's just my perception, but I think so many men have more in common than we do, like, apart from one another, right? Yeah. So I think as a man from, let's say, preteen to 40 years old, so many of us experience those same challenges at some point in our life, right? Yeah. So I think when we get too caught up in like, oh, I'm a black pill, so I should handle my challenges this way, right? Yeah. Or I should have like this, I don't care, nonchalant, carefree, I don't care what happens in life, I'm just rolling with the punches, right? Where the blue pill is like, no, I'm going to grab it by the horns and life's going to go the way I planned it and the way I want it to go, right? So I think what's more important than trying to distinguish which pill you are and how you should handle it is like a more common approach, if you will, on how men or women who experience very similar issues, how do we address those from a very head-on standpoint, right? And the reason why I say that is because I know your guys' story, right? We've talked about my story a little bit in previous episodes, but J.O., I know a lot of times when I'm going through things, I reach out to you. Right. And it's not because we're both blue pills or we have this black pill philosophy, but it's because you have approach sometimes, or I should say you have an approach sometimes that I'm missing. You know what I mean? I might have a very tunnel vision, and you'll tell me like, Cam, you're not seeing the bigger picture. Or Roy's good at that, right? Like you're too tunnel vision, bro. Look at a wider spectrum. So I think more than trying to categorize each pill, if y'all don't mind, I would like to get into your guys' approach, because I know it's a very masculine approach for all three of us, right? It's just kind of how we're hardwired, right? Which is why we're so similar. But you have a great approach many times of dissecting things. I know the challenges you've been through, the incarcerations, the just difficult times in life, and difficult, you know, your story as well. But JL, talk a little bit about when you're going through those times. Everyone's telling you to have faith, but you don't see what faith looks like in those moments, right? Like if God was with me right now, my circumstances wouldn't be like this. And I don't care if you're the biggest believer or you say you're not a believer, you felt that way at times. I'm praying every day, I'm on my knees, I don't pray at all, whatever the case may be. God isn't here with me right now. He's not showing up.
Everybody, I mean, even Jesus felt that when he was on the cross. He was like, my God, why have you forsaken me? And that's the moment where you feel forsaken, even in those moments. Even when you're in your calling. Jesus was in his calling, he felt in that moment that he was forsaken. But coming into that, asking that, like, I honestly, when I started thinking about like which pill was which, I asked, can you be a mixture? Because most of the people who are blue pill, those are the optimists. They say you live in La La Land, right? I'm probably the most optimistic dude that you can meet.
You always say faith until you make it, right?
100%. Like the movies like The Pursuit of Happiness and Rudy. I'm that cat who crying like at these movies, like who believes those things. And they're saying like the blue pill people are people who, you know, 5'3" guy can come to his coach who's in basketball and like, yo, I really want to make it to the NBA. And the coach, if he a blue pill person from what the definition says, is like, yo, if you just work hard,
you can do whatever you want.
Look at Nate Robinson, like look at Isaiah Thomas, like they did it, so there's hope for you. Just keep on. That person like, yeah. You get a red pill person, like, look, you short, you ain't never gonna make it. You need to change your profession.
It's time to be realistic.
You need to change your profession real quick, because it ain't happening. And then you got black pill people like, yo, I'm 5'3", ain't no reason to live, right? In that moment. When it comes to those individuals. So for me, if you ask me, if you look at a pill, I don't subscribe to the pill, but the reality is I have to live from a place of optimism when you're in a place where your life is dark. So whether it's blue pill or not, for me, when it comes to faith and when it comes to living that life, if you don't believe that you're going to have a life that's better than where you are, then who else is going to believe it for you? And you can't, but then the red pill of me understands, or the red pill side will understand nobody's going to come to your aid by you just sitting down. And so when you ask me, how is my life? I'll tell you this. When you're in the pursuit of your dream and your pursuit of where you are, you always going to have these moments that now society is calling them black pill moments, where you don't feel like God is going to come through, or you feel like you're not going to be able to make it through. You feel like it's almost easier to quit. I had those moments when I lost my first $250,000 coaching client. We talking about that in the car. Like I built it up. I was excited. I was all blue, right? Yo, God, you coming through. And all of a sudden I'm coaching 2 months in. The biggest contract that I had up to that day, and the guy backs out. So now I'm asking, man, is it me? What's wrong with me? So that black pill comes in. Should I stop quitting? You know, should I quit doing what I'm doing? And the red pill kicks in and it's like, yo, You gotta be, you gotta be able to live life. So I feel like there's this balance where you said it, Cam. You gotta stay in this moment. So when it came to my life, when it came to what I'm doing and how I'm moving, I had to understand, number one, that if you don't have an optimistic outlook in life, then what do you have?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't believe things are going to get better, how does it serve you to stay in a negative mindset? How does it serve you to believe that everybody's out to hurt you or everybody's going to turn their back on you? How does that serve you? And so I think it's a balance of understanding that you have ebbs and flows in life. But whatever you give your attention to, your energy flows to that. Whatever you magnify manifests. So if I'm magnifying all of the things that are going bad in my life, that's what's going to manifest in my life. That's what I'm going to look for. If I'm magnifying all girls are this way, or all guys are dirty and they trifling, or all these different things.
That's what you're gonna constantly experience.
100%.
Yeah. You said something that was huge, bro, and I want to throw to both of you guys on it. And I don't even know if you realize you said this, but it really stuck with me. And what you said was that those are black pill moments.
Ooh, I know where you're going.
You see what I'm saying? I know where you're going. So the reason why that's huge is because, I mean, you guys know kind of what I've been recently challenged with, some of the recent challenges and losses I've had, right? The traumatic ones, life-changing experiences, right? So the reason why that stuck out to me is because when you're in those moments, they don't feel like moments. They feel like, this is what my life has shifted to. This is what my life has become. This is what I have to look forward to now, right? For the rest of my life. So I think the distinction that's really challenging for anyone, no matter what your level of faith is how do you remind yourself this is a moment, and I will come out of this moment, and this isn't the permanent destiny for me, right? This isn't the final moment. This is a moment. So when you experience that feeling, you're like, dang, man, I'm in a bad place. How do you bring yourself out of that black pill moment?
Yo, you got to work. You got to take massive action. Navy SEALs said this, and I thought it was dope, and they say this in the military, is don't quit now, that's emotional. Quit tomorrow. And if you keep quitting tomorrow, you never quit.
Yeah.
And there's times where, and I'm at the point now where I'm so mentally conscious that when my brain is saying quit, don't do it, I know that's just my brain talking. It's just the state I'm in, right? And God makes everything new. So tomorrow's going to be a blank slate. I could feel better in 5-10 minutes, but I can't make a decision based on how I'm feeling right now. You know what I mean? So we generate energy, we generate emotions. So you might be out of energy. And like Kanye said, I was tired, so I'm doing DEFCON 3, and he made a mistake and when he was lacking energy, and then later on you have that energy you generated, you're able to be more of yourself. So I think we got to distinguish between how we feel now and not lock in our entire identity into the moment.
Right.
Okay, so then if that's true, and you're coming into a place where you're there, that those moments feel like they're easier said than done, right?
Absolutely.
Because that moment's real. Like people, they say, "Oh, I had a bad day." Did you have a bad day, or did you have a bad moment and milk it for the rest of the day?
Right. You got a bad 10 minutes.
You know what I'm saying? So you wake up, you mad because your kids wilding out. Now you take it throughout the whole day. Like, okay, so in these moments, because there's people watching this, like, what happens when you don't just have a bad moment? What happens if you on a streak where you keep taking L's again and again and again? Then what? Like, how do you pull yourself out of that?
Give a time you've taken a LL.
DJ Khaled would say never.
Never in my life.
Never in my life.
But you felt that way. I mean, and what pulled you through, or what pushed you through?
I mean, there's a lot, probably more in the last couple years, right, than I probably experienced at any other point in my 35 years of life. But I think I really like what you said, which was take action. And that's difficult for, it's tougher for some people than others. But for me, that's what does it for me as well. I'm a very structured person, and I'm a believer that structure creates freedom. So, doing the same things at the same time every day is what makes me feel like I'm being most productive. It's not like I'm going to do whatever comes my way. I'm up every morning at 4. I'm reading emails. I'm responding to emails, right? Then I'm up. Then I'm praying. Then I'm in the shower. I'm out the door on the way to the office by 5:36, right? That's what makes me feel most productive. So for me, when it feels like chaos is going on around me and everything is falling apart, I immediately want to get back to structure. Right. And I realize that when I feel this way, it's because I'm not in my routine. So, I'm a believer that you can't just, it's not a matter of sweeping under the rug and pretending like it didn't exist and moving back on with your life. It's about experiencing that moment, acknowledging what happened and what has taken place. But then it's like, how do we pick up and move on?
Yeah.
And for some of us, I know it's maybe a little more, some people, we all mourn differently, right? We talked about this in the car coming over here. Some people want to sit in that moment a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I don't, per se, right? I acknowledge it, and I want to figure out how do I get back into my routine, because that structure is what's going to make me feel most alive again and being more productive. So, like you always say, I think we're created in God's image. God was a creator. I think as humans we need to create, and I think we feel
that's gold,
most productive when we're getting back when we're creating. So I feel like the longer we sit in our situation, the longer we're feeling sorry for ourselves, we're not being productive, and we're not doing what makes us be productive and create things. I think we stay in that depressed, emotional state, right? So for me, it's get back to massive action. I'm acknowledging what's taking place in my life, but I'm not acknowledging that this is what life is going to look like for the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months.
You got to get to a place where you get out of you got to shift your environment. Like that's so big when we deal with that, especially in these moments we talk about these black pill moments where life isn't there. One of the worst things that you feel like your body starts doing is it's inactive. So you don't even want to move. You don't want to go out. You don't want to meet nobody. You still wearing the same gray sweats that you've been having on for like
you ain't been in the shower, bro.
Right. And so the first thing that stops when you feel like you're taking L's, it's amazing, is you stop moving and you stop being around things that give you life. And so even in those moments where it's like the darkest of the moment, for me, I remember after I took that L, I didn't want to create. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything. But my back of my mind is like, yo, you got to get up and move. You got to do something. And so I just started taking action, even if it wasn't action in the field that I was in or what I was doing. I would get out and walk my dog Peach. Watch other people around me moving. I would go to a coffee shop, even though I didn't want to be there, and just sit around and watch people move and hustle and bustle and get around that, because there's a moment where you got to get yourself out of that funk. So you being Dips, you the mindset guy, you're the amygdala and frontal lobe and all these type of things. When we talk about moving, first off, my question is why does our first reaction is to stop for most people? We talking about black pill people. If you're watching this and you're tuning into this, that black pill is a life that says, man, look, I've hit so many L's. I'm not moving anymore. Life's not worth it. It's better for me to just settle in life. You've got these red pill people who are driven, masculine, like, F the world. This is how we going to take it over. Right. And then you got the blue pill people like, hey, I'm not hurt. And they're like hemorrhaging, right? Like, okay, so why, when we talk about these black pill moments where life delivers you this blow and you feel like life isn't worth living, or there's no meaning in that moment, why is the first reaction is inactivity or soaking, and then it's reactivity, or what is it that allows you to get in that spot?
The brain and the mind is naturally lazy. It just kind of wants to stay the same, right? And then one of the things that it is worried about is when you go to create, what's the first thing that's going to happen when you start creating, putting things out there? You're going to get judgment. And a lot of people are afraid of judgment. They really care a lot what other people say about them, right? I think, Jeff, you told me this analogy one time. It's like an apple tree just grows. You can take a seed to an apple, and the entire tree is in that seed. Yeah. But you plant it, it's going to grow. And humans are the same way, but a lot of times they don't grow because they're worried about what other people are going to think about them, right?
Come on now.
And so, and growing takes pain. It takes struggle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the body rewards us for struggle. The dopamines, the endorphins, those things. But the hard part, it seems to me, if I say I'm gonna do 50 push-ups, the 50th push-up isn't the hardest one. It's the first one.
Getting started.
It's getting started. What do I got to do to get started? What do I got to do to get that momentum going? And I think the key to that is just small wins, small victories. Get up on time.
Get the first
brush
10.
Your teeth.
Right.
Make
brush
your
your
bed.
teeth, folks.
Right. Get your butt in the shower.
Right.
Get an outfit gonna make you feel good.
When I wake up, I always feel like I'm gonna get to my day. When I wake up, I know I'm gonna crush it. 'Cause I literally wake up like this. My eyes are closed and I wake up and go, thank you, God, for another one. It's gratitude right away. It's
So you wake up every day like that?
Literally, I open my eyes and just smile and go, thank you.
Now, every day you wake up like that?
Every single day. It's a pattern. It's my
Ain't
pattern.
no way. Every day.
Every single day. Thank you. Thank you for another one. Then I might, if I have something to do, I might look at my little pamphlet. I might look at my book, but I'll make sure I pray within that first hour or 30 minutes. I don't, do the meditation thing. I think meditating is a little off. I like prayer and I do exercise called priming. But when I knock out my first 3 things in the morning, when I wake up, thank you. And then I do my priming, I do my prayer, and then I look at my day. Everything else just flows. Now it's like, pre-workout, let's get to the gym, let's get it started.
Right, you get into that routine.
And after you get out the gym,
it's over. It's game over.
I'm going to ask you a question too, because you're the identity coach.
Right.
And I think what taking L's has, at least in my opinion, and you let me know because this is your forte, right? But to me, a lot of times it feels like one of the biggest struggles of taking those losses and dealing with those L's that it doesn't fit into that image that we want for ourselves. You know what I mean? Everyone has a certain vision of what my life looks like, not just in this moment, but what it's going to look like tomorrow, right? What it's going to look like 90 days from now. And then when in the blink of an eye, right, or in a second, this one L has knocked me off my path, right? So now that vision that I've been working for the last 90 days, right? This journey that we've been prepping for the last 90 months or 9 months, whatever it is, right? I think that's what's tough for a lot of people is to get back to creating a life that they're happy with the way it looks, right? That they feel good about because they're sitting in this moment of like what I've been planning for so long was taken away.
I feel like one of the biggest reasons why we do that, Brian, and that's real spit. Like, that's real talk. For most of us, I feel like, especially if you're driven, the hardest gap is from where you see yourself and where you actually are.
Come on now. Yep.
Because we hype ourselves up too much sometimes. To where we see ourselves higher than where we actually are right now. And in coaching, we call that interrogating your current reality. Right? So
let's revisit that.
Yeah, let's revisit that right now. So we get to this place where we feel like when it comes to success or when it comes to life, I'm up here. And when I'm up here, I don't take I don't get criticism. When I'm up here, I don't take losses. When I'm up here, everybody's saying yes. I'm walking through every door. Every opportunity's happening. It's all roses. I'm invincible when I'm up here. And you got this idea of who you are up here. But the reality is you here right now. And so you're not where you want to be. So when you take what we call an L, you take a hard moment and you take a moment where you've gotten hit in life.
Right, that black pill moment, right?
That black pill moment. Now you feel like you've fallen from all the way up there, but the reality is you ain't there yet. And so you're learning these growing pains that are getting you where you are. And that biggest distance from where you see yourself and where you really are, that's the painful part right there. And all the space in between is called tension. And so when we're trying to build our lives and we're trying to visualize who we are, the tension is between where I am
and where I want
to be.
Now tease that model out. If you black pilled, you ain't even gonna have a vision for where you want to be.
Oh, there's
where
no
you're supposed
vision.
to go. There's no vision. So what is that tension? If you don't even have, you're black pilled. Life has no meaning. Blah blah blah. I don't even have this ideal that I'm chasing.
That's a safety mechanism. I feel like when you have a black pill mentality or a victim mentality, some people, and I'm coaching more clients now who are afraid of success because when you have success, it changes your identity. It requires your identity to change.
That transition is scary.
100%. So now if I can't identify as the victim, then who am I going to identify as?
You gotta take responsibility.
100%. So now I'm more afraid of who I'm going to become outside of my pain. So then I'm going to stay in what I know, which is a victim mentality. Or, check this out. Here's the other reality of it.
Hey, what are you talking about?
Bro, like, this is real. Because look, and the other side of this is it's a protection mechanism because if I don't expect anything, then I can't get let down from anything. So then you take it all the way back to your childhood. You take it all the way back to a moment where you started a business or a company and it didn't work out how you wanted to. The greatest way to protect yourself from experiencing what we call quote unquote failure or hardship is not to shoot for the stars or shoot for anything.
Right. You lower those standards.
100%. So then now I don't have to worry about getting let down. If I'm in a relationship and I carry the black pill mentality, the reality is you got burned in a relationship. You so broken that you're now telling yourself as a defense mechanism, everybody's the same. There's no meaning in life. You get with my, we call them when grow up, they were emo. Yeah. So you got the hair, what I'm saying?
It's revenge of the nerds.
The hair swept over the head, and then all the small things, and you walk around like sad all day. You know what I'm saying? And you catch out back in the day when you staring out, you listen to Carl Thomas looking out the window like you in a music video, just trying to be in your emo feelings, right? Like emotional. I think what happens in these moments is we think that when we play this, that people are going to feel sorry for us, and somehow this superhero is going to come. Yeah. So my question is what do you do when you've been in this black pill as victim mentality and you're expecting for this superhero to come and they don't show up? How long do you have to stay in your pain, waiting for the person who hurt you to come back and apologize? In most cases,
never.
Facts. Waiting for that person. We're waiting for that person who did you wrong on your job to come back and be like, you know what, my bad. Here's that deal that you should have got. And so you sit waiting, and it's easier to take that black pill. And the Bible says, my people perish for lack of hope and vision.
That superhero has got to come internally now. You got to get back to your roots.
Need to turn into.
You got to get back on your knees and start talking to God, and then you got to go. You got to look in the mirror, and it's literally you, and yourself.
Okay, wait, hold on. So you have this moment where you got to go into this Clark Kent moment where you got to become Superman. You got to become the hero or the shero.
Right.
Right? The hero or the shero. If it's you, girl, you better get up and become that shero. Bro, you better become that hero. So what is the process? If I'm in this black pill moment, my life is burned out, I'm hurt, I cannot pretend like it didn't happen. What is the step to coming out of that and becoming that hero or that shero that you got to become? And when is that moment that you recognize, or how bad does it have to get before you recognize that they're not coming? Somebody else isn't coming.
The first part, and this is the hardest part, is you have to take full responsibility.
I was just about to say
everything in your life.
It's
even
honesty.
If it's not, that doesn't mean blame or fault.
Yeah.
But you got to take full responsibility.
Or like J.O. said, you have to be brutally honest with yourself with where you're at in your process. Right? So I might get up every morning, put the watch on, put the designer on. I'll get in the $8,000 on a car, but people don't know I got $5 in my bank account,
brother.
Right? But I'm trying to play the role. Like I'm trying to step into the rooms, acting like I got it, but I don't have it. Yeah. But you have to be in such a brutally honest place to look in the mirror and say, I'm not going to become the superhero until I'm just 100% honest with myself. How can you be honest with others if you're not honest with your own situation? A lot of people
feel like they got to fake it till they make it. What is that?
But this is a thing too, so.
Nah, that don't exist. Fake it till you make it.
Well, we know what that really is.
Well, like you just said, right? Like how the hard part is like if you're living this lie, right? But you're expecting the results that someone in a different caliber, someone living a different lifestyle will get.
Right.
I look the part.
That's that distance.
But I'm not living what they're doing, right? I'm not in the gym 5 a.m. like bro is, and I'm mad because I'm not getting a six-pack because I'm there once a week. I'm going to the gym. How come I'm not getting the abs, right? I don't have the discipline or the structure that this person who's getting up could walk around 3% body fat, right?
Right.
But I'm in the gym. I'm brushing shoulders with them, right? I'm trying to act like I'm living the lifestyle.
Right.
But it's what you're doing behind the scenes, bro.
What closes the distance?
Come on, identity coach. What closes the distance? What do we gotta do?
Listen, look.
Massive action.
Yeah, it's absolutely. You're absolutely right. You can't. There's no such thing as fake it till you make it. Either you are, or you aren't, and you're waiting for the results to show.
Facts.
Bottom line. And so one of the ways that helps you is to recognize, number one, where am I starting off at? You can't keep pretending to be this thing. Now, listen, you don't want to dress like where you came from. And that's one of the things we talked about in the previous episode. If you haven't watched it, go watch the first one when Cam was going through his dialysis. In life, to be able to get there, you don't want to look like what you came from, but you don't want to pretend that you're somewhere else where you're not, because then you can't take an honest assessment of where you are emotionally, where you are physically, financially, relationally. So it's not even just taking massive action, it's taking the right actions. So for some people, that massive action may be going to your board and and telling your board, hey, I want to make these changes in my company. For somebody else, massive action may be going to that relationship with that individual and saying, listen, this isn't working for where I want to go. But if I'm not at a board meeting, or I don't have a board, and I'm not in a relationship, I could try to take that action, but it's the wrong action. Yeah. So it's learning how to take the right action and being honest with yourself and saying, listen, I'll give you a case in point. When I stepped out of being in church in the traditional sense, on staff at a church, and I wanted to relaunch my coaching practice in a fuller sense. When we moved out, everybody's like, yo, you got to go buy a house. That's the first thing you want to do. Take all your money to go buy a house, and that's what you got to do. Now, I could have had a black pill moment when I relaunched it. I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to survive. I can't afford a house. I'm never going to do that. But I took an honest assessment of where I was at, and I was like, hold on. My win right now is me being able to support my family doing what I desire to do. That's an honest assessment. So my win was me being able to support my family and have a thriving coaching practice where we can live. That was my win, not buying a house. So when you say taking massive action, wherever you are and what you are, take an honest assessment of where you are and what you're doing and take the right action. If you got $50 in your bank account, then your first action is to put yourself in a financial position to pay your bills off. Then you can talk about crypto, NFT investments, and all that other stuff that comes that way. So I think it's one of the hardest things for us to be able to recognize and be honest with where we are, honest in your relationship, and honest with how you move forward. But here's my question. We live in a world, let me ask you, we live in a world where everything is on this. Everything's on your phone. Social media is showing you different people. Social media is showing all of these different things. How is that adding? Because that's what I want to know. How does social media, what we're seeing, whether you on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever that is, Discord, TikTok, how is that affecting this whole pill mentality, specifically the black pill? Does that affect us, or does it encourage? How does that come in?
I think where it's hurt the most is relationships with men and women, because
talk about it.
Man, you talked about that tension. There's more tension now because every time you go look at somebody else's highlight reel, you're like, yo, they winning, they doing it, they doing this. And I'm not even near that. So not only am I not near it, I got to fake it and make it look like I'm near that on social media so nobody knows, right? So there's more tension on, more so the man, but everyone. Now, as a woman, you can find any man you pretty much want. It don't matter what woman, what you are, you getting 20 DMs every day. And at the end of the day, we want to do what we love, but we also want to have families and have children and be able to support them doing what we love, and we want our kids to look up to us. And so now, I was reading a stat the other day that within our generation, China's going to be under 1 billion people. They're literally going through population collapse. So people aren't getting together. The family is being affected. Dads aren't in the home, which you know how I feel about my dad. And it's just hurting everything, and everything's falling from the bottom down. And so at the end of the day, it's not this thing's fault. These are just pipes. We're filling them, right? This is just magnifying what people already are. But we have to have an existential moment and go, yo, I got to lock in. I can't be distracted with this thing. I got to relieve that tension by taking action every day. And I got to move towards being that man that the woman I desire wants, and go build that family, build your empire.
I think Roy just made a crazy great point, which is that social media is a highlight reel. You know, like you don't log on to Instagram daily and see people's black pill moments, right? You see when the money came in, when the check cleared.
That would be like that red pill moment or that blue pill, right?
Right. That's what you see on the daily basis. So I think because we're constantly watching these highlight reels and then we're trying to compare it to our own lives, I think the biggest, unfortunate thing that's going on with social media is that for a lot of people, I think they've lost sense of reality. You know, because when you log on to social media and you see someone in the $150,000 car or they're at Louis Vuitton blowing, more on a bag than maybe some people making a week.
I want that. I see Floyd Mayweather, he be over there with bags.
Exactly. So the first thing you wonder is like, what is this person doing and why don't I have it? But see, we see the final result, right, or the end result on social media, but what we don't see is the behind the scenes and the process that person had to go through in order to get it.
So how do you protect? How do you? Because when you see, like, so one of my things, man, I was talking to Cam, and I was telling him, man, I've been this last 2 years. One of the dudes who I've been watching from afar, who's been like my guy, has been DJ Khaled. Like I've been, I love that cat. Whether you want to, right? And so one of the things I'm watching as he's doing it, like, I was listening to his interview on Drink Champs, and he started talking about his struggle of what he went through before, like taking all the crates to all the trains and sleeping in the stuff, and telling people like, yo, listen, money gonna be messed up for a little bit.
Right, bear with me.
But yeah, bear with me. But I'm gonna get us right. Like just wait till you see that. And so when you see this moment of him having this like, yo, people don't see that, but they see him on the God did, right? Or another one, or they see him win. You don't hear the backstory, and I think that's what I'm attracted to of these individuals is their backstory. And I believe personally that people will connect more with your scars than they do your trophies.
Ooh. Yep.
Yeah. What's the best part about getting money? Talking about the times you didn't have no money. That's the best part.
So we've all been in this place though, and maybe this. So all right, Cam, I'll ask you this: when we deal with these black pill moments, how do you protect yourself from these black pill moments? Or we're gonna take it a step further. Here I'm gonna go a little step further. What do you do when you're in a relationship? And we just going for the terminology, like just hypothetically speaking, given the topic for today, you end up dating somebody or you're married to somebody who's choosing to have a blue pill, but you stuck in a black pill moment. How do you deal with somebody like that?
I mean, that's almost like a completely different episode, bro. But
but this is where we at right now.
No, like, I think there's something that I've learned recently at 35 years old that I did not possess in probably at any other point in my life. And I think it's challenging for a lot of us as men who walk around priding ourselves in our masculinity and how confident we are in the things that we've achieved, right? But there's a word called vulnerability that's tough. Yeah. And I think it's very tough, particularly in relationships. And the reason I think so, and you're the married man, so I would love to hear your spin on this because I know you have experience with this. But I think for a lot of us men, when we go into dating and we go into these relationships, we portray roles that we think is the man that she wants. Yeah. Right? So I saw something online a couple of days ago, stuck with me, and it was, I don't remember who it was, but it was a young lady who posted, "Don't introduce me to an energy that you can't maintain." Ooh. You know what I mean?
Wait, say that again?
Don't introduce me to an energy that you can't maintain. So when you're courting this person, right, you're taking her to the Ocean Primes, you're buying her the $500 steaks, this is going on, it's going on, but what happens when you hit them hard times, right? She's like, what happened to the man that I was dating? Right? When you were flashing, you pulled up, you picked me up, you had the Rolex on, right? You in a $100,000 car. Yeah. A year later, she's like, what happened to the Rolex? I hit the pawn shop one time. You know what I mean? Times got hard. Exactly. So those require conversations, right? Like you just mentioned, DJ Khaled had a conversation with his people. Bear with me. We hit some hard times. I got a plan in place, though. We're working on it. Keep rocking with your boy. We're all going to eat when we cash out, right? But to have those conversations, to go to your lady and say, babe, time is going to be tough for the next couple months because this fell through, right? I know we say we're going to get this. It's not going to happen, right? And I think a big part of that difficulty in being vulnerable, those conversations change your identity, right? Because now you're not the person she thought she was dating. This whole time she think you got the bag and you got to go tell her we ain't got it like that because you kicking on the rent this month. You know what I mean? So in those situations, bro,
you already know where I'm going. Like,
so in those situations, I would say honesty and vulnerability, which are two very tough things to do in black pill moments, right?
That's real.
How do you have those conversations? And better yet, how do you instill the trust that it's just a moment? Keep rocking with me. We're going to get us out of this. How do you have those moments, bro?
So I am of the opinion that you shouldn't show your woman or your wife vulnerability. I know.
I disagree. Okay, go ahead. Hold on.
Part 2 will be coming real soon. Part 2, stand by.
Hey, so this is more of a red pill outlook, and then disagreeing with that is more of a blue pill. But I have blue pill outlooks as well. But
okay,
anyway,
go ahead, share it with me.
she doesn't want to see her man in a vulnerable place. She wants to know that she's okay, she can be taken care of. I would say tell the truth. But just because you tell the truth, this is what it is. Things aren't going as well right now. I'm going to fix it. Mm-hmm. The end. But then you go to your boys. Then, all right, bruh. Right. I don't know what I'm doing. let me hold something. I could be vulnerable with y'all. But I think with my
so you
woman,
feel like that's something your woman should never be introduced to. Basically, is the vulnerability.
No. Man, look, let me tell you something.
Come on,
look, this me being married for 15 years together with Nadia.
You got the results.
Hey, no, but you coming from your mindset with our generation. I'll be 36.
Yeah.
In 2 months.
Right. And been married how long?
Been married 15 years.
All right, come on, man. Talk to us.
Together 19.
Yeah,
about
talk
to
to us
20. And I'm going to tell you from a moment of me digging through trash cans.
Right.
Nadia came from money. So I didn't have that. I had a vision. I had a dream. I was a blue pillar. Recently got out from being incarcerated. All the dreams got dashed. Yeah. And there were moments for the first part of my marriage. I was like, yo, I got all this burden. And I'm trying to carry it because I don't want to give my wife that burden. I don't want her to know what's going on. And so you hold it and you hold it and you hold it and you hold it and you hold it. But you got to understand something. The Bible says your wife is your helpmate. Yeah. If I'm going to ask you to help me move a couch, you can't be weaker than me. You got to be either of equal strength or stronger than me to help me move something. Mm-hmm. So when the Bible talks about your wife being a helpmate and you going through these moments where you're trying to hold it. Now, there's one moment about you're like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. It's all falling apart. But there's a moment of vulnerability and transparency that says, listen, babe, this is the situation we're in right now. I'm scared, just like you're scared. But I want to let you know
this what's going on.
That even though I feel this way, I'm going to do whatever it takes for us to move forward. Because if you don't hold that, if you withhold that moment and you try to pretend, our wives aren't dumb, or your girlfriends or your fiance, they're not dumb. They know you going through something, and it's only a matter of time before you break. If you're going to build your life with somebody, I don't want to build my life with somebody, because Nadia used to be like, yo, you here with me, but you're not here with me. And I know you probably know that when you build
volumes, bro.
You're here with me, but you're not here with me. You're physically present, but mentally you're not present. Why? Because I don't want to tell her right now that I just lost like all this money. I don't want to tell her right now that money that we were banking on,
that deal not happening.
That deal's not happening.
That salary not coming in. Right.
So they know it, but I feel like there's a moment where you are vulnerable enough to be able to state where you are. You are transparent enough to allow her to know where you are emotionally, because that bonds you. That lets her know, if I'm praying for you, I know where to pray for you at. If I see you start going into your tendencies that you normally go, you withdraw. I was getting sharp with my kids. I was becoming unpleasant.
It begins to affect other areas.
100%. Yeah. So if you bottle it up, the alpha will say, don't let nobody know. I'm going to tell you from my pastor side, the cats who are getting divorces, the people who are getting caught up in alcohol, the people who are having sex all these times and going to these relationship and these partners to try to find that significance are the ones that they don't have any other outlet to let it go out. And so now it's starting to act out because you don't have an outlet.
Ladies, let us know. Tap in. Would you want to know, or would you rather your man not let you know and you keep it solid in the household?
I think we agree.
But some people
besides the emotional part, because I'm not really emotional like I feel the emotions, but I just be like, yo, I gotta get to work. I'm gonna tell you the truth. If I feel vulnerable telling you the truth, then that's my own thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't have to I feel like maybe
emotionalize it.
Maybe the word vulnerability makes me feel like some type of hyperbole.
Could be,
know what I'm saying? But if you tell the truth, you're fine. But at the end of the day, we got to get to work and fix this issue. And also, the guys who are getting divorced, 80 to 90% of divorces are initiated by women, though. So, is that because I'm not being vulnerable?
Hey,
or is it and that's a whole other thing.
I was about to say, there might be a part two.
But I'll tell you, here's where I'll segue, and then I want to ask you a question as we kind of look at this topic and wrap it up. But when it comes to these relationships and it comes to black pill moments, I think one of the greatest things, King Solomon said this, and I did this on a post. People always say King Solomon asked for wisdom in the Bible, and God granted him wisdom. He became the richest man to ever live. Whether you Christian, whether you believe it, history acknowledges King Solomon as one of the wealthiest men that ever lived, one of the wisest men. But he never asked for wisdom. King Solomon said, God, give me an understanding heart. See, the key to understanding black pill moments is to ask God for divine understanding. Because when I have an understanding of a moment, then I understand that this isn't my whole life. This is just a chapter. When I have divine understanding, it allows me to understand the individuals who burned me or the individuals who broke my trust. It doesn't mean that I'm no longer a trusting person. I have an understanding to know that I'm a trusting person, but I gave my trust to somebody who was untrustworthy. Wrong people. So when we look at this whole black pill moment, I just believe personally, and we can get in this another thing, but when it comes to divorce, when it comes to these black pill moments, when it comes to this, there's an understanding that has to take place. Your wife or your husband needs to understand where you're coming from. And when women don't feel like they're understood and men keep trying to speak a language that they don't understand, there's nothing more frustrating than not being heard. That's why they say you don't hear me.
Yeah.
And that comes from understanding. So when we look at this whole thing and this black pill moment, give me something that I want to send somebody off with if they're watching this and they in this black pill moment. They're watching Bros to Men. They're hearing all these different topics and we're hitting it. Make sure you click subscribe. Make sure you guys like it, you share, tap in with us. Give us some topics.
Let us know what you think.
Yep. But on another side, if you want to leave somebody with this topic of red pill, blue pill, and we'll go more in depth on another episode in black pill, specifically on this black pill moment where you feel like life is at its lowest point. Somebody's taking that black pill every single day.
Yeah.
What would you say to them to help them get out of that moment?
I would say first, choose to have a purpose. Choose a life, an identity that is bigger than yourself. At the end of the day, we got to create. And I'm going to create my own pill right now, the white pill. The light pill.
Okay.
The light pill.
Okay.
Right.
And
you ain't going to define
and
me.
that pill is going to be what Cam said, create. Do something, create something, whatever that is, because it isn't about the money, and you do want money, but it isn't about the end result. It's about the process. LeBron always talks about the process, and the best part is the process. Every time when you get to the destination, all you're doing is talking about the times we had to get cans together and put money together so we can go to Scribbles to the club. You know what I'm saying? About
share a jug of juice in the grocery store.
Just like, yo, I picked up three pairs of shades, $1 each, dog. Which ones you want to wear? We gonna go to Scribbles. We gonna be popping. You know what I'm saying? And then we get to Jeff's house and he drunk by the Aspen and is like, yo, I can't go, I can't make it. I drank the whole bottle. And it's like, bro, those are the best times. It's always the process, and enjoy the process and realize right now isn't your end destination. It's just the moment.
That's good, bro.
And tomorrow's a new slate, and create something.
Beautiful. I like that. What about you, Cam?
Real quick, I'll just say at an early age, I think I distinguished, someone asked me a question one time and it really changed my life. And he said, are you living or are you existing? Because when you're just existing, you're just taking blow by blow. And you're like, oh, this is my life. And I'm just taking all these L's and I'm just rolling with the punches, right? But when you're living, that means you're actively designing the life that you want to live, right? So I think, design is the key word in that, man. And I think it's just understanding that it is a moment. And it's not the permanent destination. So experience what you're going through, take action, and just, let that sit for a moment. Just realize this is something that's going on at this moment. This isn't my life forever. And tomorrow's a new day, man. Get up and create. Yeah. Hey, thanks for rocking with us.
Yeah.
Bros and Men. Tap in, leave comments, suggestions, topics, all that good stuff. Love y'all.
Hey, we'll see you.
Hey, one time.